Today, I want to talk about 5 important lessons to teach your kids about credit. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector, a subsidiary of Clear and Strategic. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from management to owning 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 10 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. For those of you who are new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's go. As we know, the children are our future. More importantly is your children in particular. A lot of times what we do is as parents, and I remember me as a kid, and obviously I was raised by my grandmother. She had 7 other foster kids and kids that she was dealing with. So I'm pretty sure it was hard for her as a single parent raising all these kids and working. But a lot of times as parents, what we do is school is sort of kind of like a daycare for our kids. We send them to school, and then we go about obviously working our 9 to 5. And then, obviously once you're done with work, then you get your kids, you go home, you feed them, make sure they're bathed and so forth, maybe ask them a few questions about school, and then it's the next day, all the way until the weekend. Once the weekend hits, especially if you have kids that play sports, typically, my kids, they're playing flag football Friday nights. Saturday hits, we're trying to go to the zoo or something along those lines, do some type of extracurricular activity. Sunday, obviously, depending on what's going on, they may go to church or something along those lines. And then Monday, we start that situation right back up. And the reality is, a lot of times we don't have time to teach our kids about credit. And then even to go even further, a lot of us don't even understand credit ourselves. And getting that knowledge is so important so that you can pass it along to your kids, right? But let's get to the 5 lessons to teach your kids about credit, and lessons that you may need to understand about credit if you don't understand, so that in fact you can teach your kids about it. Number 1, how to build up their credit history. I have a video where I talk about the unboxing of an Amex Blue Rewards Cash card that I had added my son on as an authorized user. The cool thing about Amex, and they're not sponsoring me or anything along those lines, but the cool thing about Amex is they'll allow you to add your kid as an authorized user at the age of 13, right? So building up their credit history starting at 13 to about time he's 18, which is what, a 5-year time span. As long as me as the parent, I'm responsible with that credit card, I'm using it the way it's supposed to be used, I'm not maxing it out and all of those types of things. About time my son turns 18, he will be in the 700 FICO Club score. Because once he turns 15, I'm going to add some other authorized user credit cards, because majority of credit cards, they allow you to add authorized user your kids by the time they're 15 or 16 years old. But Amex at 13, remember that. But building their credit history is 35% of their FICO score, having some type of credit history. Your average person turns 18 years old, they have no credit history. So they apply for their first credit card, chances are they're going to get a $200 to $500 limit on an unsecured credit card. Obviously, if they have $2,000, $3,000, they can put it in the bank and get a secure credit card. Then they could get a secure credit card for a lot higher. But the reality is, my son starting at 13, his credit history is starting now. So he will already have 5 years of credit history. That's more than I had by the time I was 30 years old, let alone by the time I was 18 years old. So your credit history is the number 1 thing to start out with your kids. And the only way that you can start their credit history is by what? Adding them as an authorized user. You can start at 13 with Amex, and you can start a little later with a lot of the other credit cards. But just check with your credit card that you currently have and ask them what is the lowest age that you can add an authorized user. Number 2, how to keep a healthy payment history. The things that I'm telling you guys are stuff that I've done on a day-to-day basis with regards to my kids. Now, with my son, with his Amex card, he's had it for about 6 months, a little over 6 months now. He gets allowances and so forth with regards to making money. I teach him to use his credit cards like debit cards, right? So you only spend what you have in the bank. Ain't no borrowing, just spending what you have in the bank, right? instead of using a debit card. That's one of the main things that I tell him. And so then it's very important as he pays, I tell him when the due date is on the credit card and that's the date he has to actually pay with regards to his credit card. So he understands that, but the reality is as he uses the card on Monday, whatever he does by Monday, by Friday, he's making those payments. We make 3 or 4 payments on each one of our credit cards, and on this credit card in particular, he makes his payments just like that. And then the rewards, which is a cashback rewards account that he has with me, that credit card I do not use. He only uses it. So any of the actual rewards that he get, which is the cash back, I give it to him to use so he can understand that. Number 3 is understanding the difference between good credit and bad credit. Very important to understand that. Now, in small layman terms, one of the things, if you guys have been following my channel, I always say assets put money into your pocket, liabilities take money from your pocket. Good debt is debt that you use to actually purchase or get assets, right? Like my son, he's going to start a vending machine company. When he does start that, we have the credit card set up. Now, I don't mind going $2,500 to $3,000 in debt, which I would consider good debt, to actually get him that vending machine, because that vending machine is going to give him an ROI on his cash investment, and in return he'll pay off that vending machine from the products that he has in that vending machine, and he'll make a turn of profit as well as pay off the actual machine that he has to actually purchase. That's probably the biggest purchase he's going to have. Now, bad debt on the flip side is like taking that money and going to buy something that's not going to do anything for you, i.e. he wants a PlayStation 5. In my mind, it's like, no, we're not going to go buy a PlayStation 5 with your money. If you have $700-800, we're not going to go take that and buy a PlayStation 5. No, we're going to take that money and invest it in an asset, and then that asset pays for the liability. And that's one of the things that I teach them, and understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt. Before I go on to number 4, I want to let you guys know something. If this stuff you don't necessarily understand and you're trying to understand this, you have bad credit, it's okay. We've all been there. I had bad credit. 35 years old, I had bad credit, and I had to figure out what to do to get into good credit. And I learned and I understood that. Down below is a 20-minute free consultation. Sign up for it. Let us help you. One of the things I always tell people is you deserve to be approved for the credit you want and need. Allow us to help you out. And in this case, you should be able to start helping out your kid once they turn 13. And a lot of that happens with regards to understanding credit, cleaning up your credit, and then building credit. And those are the things that we teach here at Clear and Strategic. Now let's get to number 4. The 4th thing that I think you should teach your kids is how to get a credit report. I have videos on with regards to how to do that. There are some ways that you can get it free, right? Even with your kid as they start at 13. And now this is something that I haven't thought of, and I just thought of this right now when I looked at this point, is simply pulling my son's FICO score. I think I'm gonna do a video on that. I'm gonna show you how to pull all 3 credit reports for free: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. 2 of the credit reports will be Vantage scores through Credit Karma. The other one will be Experian, and it'll be through it'll be an actual FICO score. Outside of just the score itself, but your kids should know how to go and actually pull a copy of their credit report. And then the 5th and last thing that I state that's very important that your kids, I believe, should understand is this: how to monitor their credit, right? Each and every month, as we all know, your FICO score will possibly go up or go down depending on what it is that you do with your FICO score. Explaining that situation to your kids is awesome because it helps them to understand what is going on, right? It's like the report card with regards to your life and credit. And in order to be sufficient in this world currently right now, yes, a lot of people think cash is king. I believe credit is king. Credit puts you in situations and circumstances to where if an opportunity pops up and your credit is in the right, are in the 700 club, you can get better interest rates on credit cards, better interest rates on loans, better interest rates on car loans and house loans and all of that stuff above. But have them understand how to monitor their credit report, whether they're looking at it once a week or at least once a month is what I recommend, so you can see the fluctuation and you can understand. A lot of these credit monitoring companies will tell you, hey, your FICO score dropped 6 points and here's why. And as you start understanding the nuances of why your credit score goes up and why your credit score goes down, what that pie represents, which represents your FICO score, and all of the things, all of the factors that factor in on that, that'll just give your kids a big time head start with regards to being successful in this world. Now, don't forget none of the free stuff that I have down below. I have the free pay to delete, Goodwill, and cease and desist letter. It's in a bundle. So if you click on the link down below, you click it, you'll get all 3 letters absolutely for free. You just have to input some information so that we can send that documentation to you. And as I always state, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And you be great. You and your kid.